Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Johnny Vlogs. I'm your host, John Lorden, and as you can see, I'm out at the refinery today. Unfortunately, we're not doing this one live, but I really had a blast with that last one. We will be doing more live videos. It will be coming for sure. I'm just still working with the new equipment here, still getting used to things a little bit, but I really enjoyed it so much, and I want to give a big thank you to all of you that participated in Johnny Vlogs Live. I think it's one of the most viewed episodes of Johnny Vlogs so far, so thank you all for being a part of that. It was really great to just be able to respond to you guys and see all your comments and everything on the fly like that. I really dug it. Before we get into today's very important topic, I have to thank a few new Patreon supporters. Dan Brungard, thank you so much for your support. And Kathy O'Connell Darnell, thank you so much for becoming new patrons. I'm recording this episode a little earlier in the week, so if you're jumping on the Patreon bandwagon and I didn't mention you, it's going to be in next week's episode. I'm very good about not missing any people and all that. So thank you. Now, to the very important topic at hand. I've seen you guys talk about it a lot. And when I think of comments that you leave on the channel, it's one of the comments that comes up most frequently. John, why don't you have 100,000 subscribers? I wish I knew. No, I'm just kidding. I have some theories. How about that? I have to say, I think that you guys are a very special lot. I don't think that there is... I do think there's a lot of people, but I don't think the majority of people really want to go into these cases as in depth as we do. You know, coming out of the kind of mainstream news media culture that we've had for literally decades, people want kind of sound bites. They want very quick and easy to digest thoughts that tell them kind of largely what to think of whatever they're being told, and then they can just process that and move on. I actually worked for a CEO once, and I was handling data that he wanted to see daily. And he said, I want a USA Today view. I basically want a little snippet of kind of the important thing, and then if I click on that, I want to be able to go to the back pages and read more details. So I think that perspective is still pretty prevalent in the world and in YouTube also. I know many of you are also talking and kind of comparing me to, I believe her name's Kaylee Elise, I hope I'm getting that right, and Rob Dyke, and I believe they work together occasionally also. I do think that what I do is a little bit different. I think what they're doing is taking these true stories and turning them into a piece of entertainment. And while I acknowledge what I do has an entertainment aspect to it, there are certain liberties that I won't take with my content to do that. For example, you guys notice I do not use any music under any of my videos, which is something that is just kind of basic video production skills. It's one of the first things you learn when you become an editor of any kind is here is music, and just leave it in the background or have it kind of low. For the topics and the way that I'm communicating with you guys, I don't want to do that. I don't want you to have some type of emotional pull that is weaving in with the emotions that I'm already trying to convey to you from the truth of the story. So I just think it's different. I don't think there is particularly a right or a wrong. Obviously, if I wanted to be more popular, I would just say, well, okay, that stuff really isn't that important to me, and I'll go ahead and, you know, start using drawings and start using creepy music under everything. And maybe if I don't get all the facts exactly right, that's not such a big deal. For me personally right now, that would be a total failure. I think the information that we cover is the most important aspect. And to get that information to you and to show you guys where that information is coming from is also just as important. And here's why I think you guys are so special. There is a new way to process information now. We've had it for a couple decades. It's called the internet, but not everyone is really using it. There are still people that want that USA Today kind of view of the world. And the truth is, there are people working in certain places that want you to either side with their view, either for political reasons, or to side with their view for commercial reasons, to sell you certain types of products. Those messages in that short format can be very, very distorted. And, you know, a lot of what I do is reviewing news. So I recognize that the information I'm consuming to give back to you guys could have not just flaws in the information that's being presented, it could actually be engineered a specific way to convey a thought or feeling that may or may not be true to the case and to the truth that we're seeking within that case. So, wow, that was a really long way to say it. But ultimately, I think it's important that you guys know where the information is coming from. And I noticed that some of you really hook into that aspect. You know, if I use a publication that you're not big on, I'll see it in the comments. You're like, hey, John, why are you trusting this publication? They're known for, you know, being kind of a National Enquirer type or something like that. So I think that is why it's important. We always have to consider the source. I would love to... You know, I look at a channel like the Young Turks, and I honestly appreciate what they do, but ultimately I feel like there's a big hole in what they do also because they don't really cover true crime. And outside of that, they don't really do any of their own investigating. And I know I'm right in that wash too. I do think that for the stories I present to you guys, I'm reviewing many more sources than they do. Quite typically on one of their episodes, you will hear them quote usually one article. Sometimes there might be a second article, but it seems like never more than two. And their format is very simple to understand. They will give you that piece of news from a different source that they didn't research themselves. And then for the second half of the video, or even sometimes the second 3/4 of the video, it's literally just them talking about whatever they think about that information and however it affects them. Which to an aspect, I try to interject as well. I mean, this is YouTube. It's supposed to be a communication platform where we're connecting with people. So I do get that. But I think there's a giant hole when you consider that is a channel that has 3 million followers. They have real resources. They have many different people that work there. What would it take to push them to that next level of doing true investigative journalism, having some of their own people go out, conduct their own interviews, get their own footage, instead of citing other sources of news, becoming a source of news? Because that's kind of what they represent themselves as being a little bit, and it really isn't. It's a news commentary station. And I guess you can kind of look at my channel and say, well, I basically am a kind of true crime and conspiracy theory and, you know, true crime documentary commentary person myself. I get that. I can tell you, as things change for the channel, as we become more successful, as I get more opportunities to actually do some research myself, I will be taking them. And luckily, I have had a few. I have had chances to speak with people that are affected by their missing loved ones. I have had a chance here or there to go get out of the studio and take a trip and take you guys with me. I'd love to do more of that stuff, but to keep up doing 5 shows a week, and to get all of that working, I would certainly need more partners. And to get more partners, I need more money. To get more money, I need more views. To get more views, I need more subscribers. And this is why that 100,000 number would certainly be a interesting threshold to hit for the channel, because I do think that things will keep evolving on the channel, as hopefully you've noticed they have been. I also think you guys are really special because of that aspect, though, that you want to kick into this information and understand it at a bit of a deeper level, even if as far as I can take you for that information is to the web searches and the news sources that I'm finding. At least you know where that buck stops. And I love that you don't prefer that I hide all those sources, which many channels do. Kind of upsets me a little bit. Many channels just do that same type of research, but they don't tell you where any of those sources are. And then all of a sudden, their word just becomes the expert opinion on that, and you have no idea if that information is good or not. So, wow. I think that was a long way to answer that question. I will be happy when we get to 100,000, but you know what? It's got to be the right 100,000. I need more people like you guys. I need more people that are thinking about these cases, more people that have open hearts, that care about others. And I do think that we are a bit of a unique breed. I do think there's a lot more of us out there, and hopefully we're going to find each other and keep meeting up at the Lord and Arts channel. So that's it. Thank you so much for joining me on this edition of Johnny Vlogs, and just know how much I appreciate you guys. And I know I've got a bunch of great thinkers out there. I've got a bunch of great doers that are quickly becoming my friends in terms of helping me with these cases. I really appreciate you guys so much. So I hope you are starting off a great week, and I will see you right back here on the Lord and Arts channel.